Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Box to Box. It's Matkafee and Burroaks talking World Cup. We are now all the way. It's almost over. We're like in the last week here. It's crazy. Um,
Almost, but
Reaction.
not quite.
Go ahead, Oaks. Go ahead.
Said almost, but not quite. There's still a couple important matches going on.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Argentina and Croatia tomorrow, and then France and Morocco on Wednesday. But before we get to those previews and our thoughts, I just wanted to get your impressions from the previous round. Some pretty wild games, some penalty shootouts, some big time upsets. What were your major takeaways from the previous round?
I was really impressed with Croatia getting an extra time goal versus Brazil. I thought once Neymar put his in the back of the net in extra time, that was kind of going to be it. Croatia showed a lot of heart going out there and getting game tire to force penalty kicks where they definitely had a little bit of an advantage. I was surprised to see Brazil not having Neymar take that kick that went off the woodwork. I don't know. I don't have a huge problem with it. I thought the kick was good. It just hit the woodwork. Got a little unlucky there. Croatia on penalties is always going to be tough. They got a bunch of veterans. Obviously Modric there. I definitely enjoyed the little interaction between Modric and Cass when Modric was handing off the ball. Obviously, I'm a Madrid guy, so seeing that stuff always interests me.
Mhm.
Cass kind of smiling at Modric. Um, so yeah, Croatia winning on penalties, definitely a little bit of a surprise that it went to penalties. I wouldn't say it was a huge surprise to see them win in penalties because
Uh,
once it gets to pens, everyone knows how tight the margins are there. Um, I was really impressed with seeing Modric go over and talk to Rodrigo after the game. Modric is obviously captain of his country. That was a huge upset win to take them to the next round, and that's just who Modric is. He never takes the armband off for whatever team he's playing for. He took time out of his celebration to go talk with Rodrigo and continue to help make Madrid better. So that's
yeah,
something I love to see as a fan and of his and of my club. That'll only help Madrid moving forward.
yeah, he's got a lot of familiarity with the Brazilians. Obviously with Casemiro and Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo and everybody and Militao and yeah, a lot of familiarity there. Probably helped a little bit, but yeah, Brazil, man, they fumbled the bag. We talked, me, you, and Brad. We're sitting there saying, man, this team was looked unbeatable, but they had a little bit of Spain about them, where it was like, hey, we got the better possession and we got a better of everything, but we're just kind of we're it'll happen eventually. I think that sometimes you stay a little too patient, and yeah, Neymar's goal was fantastic, but you leave it that late, the margins can pretty tight, and although they were the much better team, I think Croatia, like you said, man, their approach in penalties is fantastic. Their keeper, I mean, I don't know how he doesn't get a statue of him in Zagreb when he gets back. Like this dude's been immense. But yeah, they continue to surprise. You know, grinding these teams down and out and going all these extra times and penalty shootouts doesn't seem to phase them. Uh, Conventional thought would be that that all that extra miles will catch up to a team. Plus, they're an older team anyway. Had a deep run last time. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the matchup against Argentina is going to be fascinating. But before we get to that preview, let's talk that Argentina and Dutch game. Probably the best game of the previous round, I think. Um, it was a wild match. Obviously, we had a lot of cards. We had a lot of late goals, a lot of drama. Thoughts about that match? And did you think? Argentina was the right side to get through that one. Some people are seeing that they thought the Dutch were the better team.
I don't know, man. I had a big problem with the referee in that game. Made
Sure.
it very vocal, made it very known. The fact that Messi didn't get booked on that fucking handball
The
that he
handball,
grabbed
right?
out of the air like he was Bam Adebayo. I have no idea how the fuck that happened.
It was
How is
Messi.
that yeah, I know that's how it happened. It's
Right.
Messi.
He
They
gets to
they
play
didn't even
different roles, man.
they
It's
didn't even want they didn't want to card him so bad that he was on his ninth, 10th foul there in extra time, and they just still didn't want to pull the book out. Um,
mhm.
yeah, I mean, he made his PKs. He got he got me my assist that I wanted.
Yeah. He backpacked that team for sure. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how much more you could expect one guy to do. And
Oh
like I
yeah.
say, he got away with one. That handball was something else. I mean, you could just Virgil van Dijk's face was like most of our faces at home. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this
Yep.
guy get to just play
Is
with
this
a different
football
set of
anymore?
rules.
What sport are we playing? Like, yeah, that was pretty egregious. The fact that the guy didn't get a red for slamming that ball into the Netherlands bench, I
Oh
thought
yeah.
was pretty suspect too.
Uh-huh.
I thought Argentina played better for sure. Especially the first 75 minutes.
Mhm.
I had a little bit problem with the Netherlands not being able to possess the ball, not being physical, not getting any pressure in the final third. We talked at length about how important set pieces are.
Yeah.
I thought that set piece play was a nice, cheeky, little brilliant draw up there by the Netherlands. Wout Weghorst, mad props to him for coming in
Yeah.
and putting in a hell of a performance for Netherlands. I always liked him when he was with Wolfsburg over in Bundesliga.
Yeah.
He's had some struggles over in the Premier League, but he's also stuck on fucking what, Burnley? I think he is his squad.
Yeah. His move to England that didn't really work out for him.
Burnley's not really a great team, and Weghorst wasn't really the piece to put them into like a conversation. So, yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed him as a player. I think he does really nice stuff. The
He's big.
Netherlands,
He throws himself around, and sometimes
that's,
that's all it takes.
that was very
Uh,
smart by the Netherlands. Put all their big bodies on the field and press to get set pieces, and
right.
good things will happen. They, I mean, they were averaging what, 5, 6, 7 inches taller than all the Argentinians. Like,
Yeah.
that was a nice strategy. Get some aerial balls, get some stuff up, get some set pieces. So I was impressed that Netherlands fought back and tied that game and forced extra time. I thought they made a mistake taking their foot off the gas and not playing with urgency and extra time. They should have been looking to avoid a penalty kick at all costs.
Yeah.
So if that meant giving up one on the back end, I thought they should have kept the pressure high with their big bodies and gone for the throat there. So
Yeah. There was a lot. A lot was made of the post game. Messi came out and had words for Van Gaal, who was kind of critical of them, but he's critical of that. You know, hey, you pretend like you play good, attractive football, but really all you do is want to lump balls forward and play. I think the criticism was fair. I love it when two teams are going at each other like this, and like the verbal barbs just makes it more interesting. But yeah, I mean, to me, it was Messi just stepping up to the plate. This is his tournament to claim now for his legacy. I think the World Cup winning, if
I'll go through
Argentina win the
Modric.
World Cup, I think that will cement him. And his legacy is already pretty much set, but that's it. The detractors can only say he hasn't won the World Cup. So this would
That
be
was his
go ahead.
that was his first goal in knockout stages too, by the way, guys.
Yeah, that and well, his assist, probably the assist of the tournament. That reverse ball that split the defense, like my gosh! And you got the best center half in the world, like that gets cooked by it too. It sets up a fullback of all players. Like it wasn't just beautiful, beautiful vision and beautiful execution on the assist, which I know cashed both of us. We both had Messi assists. And I shout out to JD who had the nice Messi goal and assist, same game parlay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
that was
was
tasty, man. Great match. Officials, yeah, I think the probably I, officials in general didn't have a great round last round. I thought there was a lot of controversy. Um, we could talk next about some of the other ones. We could talk. Let's do Morocco Portugal next. You know, I first things first for me is just like major tip of the cap to Morocco, man. They got this watertight defense. They are locked in back there, denying all the opportunities. Very impressive. Portugal almost blew their load maybe too much in the previous game. I don't know exactly how you thought. What were your impressions of that one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Morocco was a big step up in competition from Switzerland. Morocco has played great football all tournament. They proved that metrics aren't everything. You don't need to possess the ball. You don't need to dominate XG. You don't need to pepper the net with shots on target. You just need to be efficient with your possession and make the most of it when it happens. Obviously, these guys play in a low block.
Yeah,
This is a tournament team. All right. Tournament football is different than club football. You know, club football, you got to play, 36 plus games. You got to face every opponent multiple times. You got to do a couple of different things. And at the end of the day, you're okay with some draws to save points on the road and you're focused on the table. In tournament football, you got to win. And Morocco's built a team to win that's capable of doing it. They play very watertight, like you said, in the back. They have great communication. Everybody's always where they need to be. It doesn't look forced. It doesn't look like they're hanging onto a rope for dear life.
yeah.
They look very calm, in control, and they maximize their opportunities in front of net when they get to them. So, obviously, caps off to Morocco. I thought Portugal, they played okay. But yeah, I mean, the idea that they ran out of goals is a valid one.
Yeah.
Seeing the ball hit the back of the net 6 times makes you think it's very easy, when it is, in fact, very, very difficult to score goals. As I've mentioned several times, how at a premium goal scorers are.
Yeah.
I Hey, props to Morocco. I don't really have a problem with how Portugal played or what they did. Um, you know, at most, you maybe try and get critical about not starting Ronaldo, but how could
I
you?
think I like the strategy of
I
saving
thought
him.
it was good too. I thought it was good when
Let
employed
him
it.
go at a tired defense, and realistically, if you're playing your game plan for
120.
120 play and penalties, you want Ronaldo for those clutch minutes, but you could also say, hey, are you punting the first 70 minutes here? Which I could see both sides to the argument. I think people were
I
killing
think
Costa.
after what Ramos did, it's hard to say they punted on the first 70 minutes.
Right. Well, I mean, your Ronaldo fanboys will say,
Yeah,
hey, you need your best players out there from the start. Which I mean, I can't. I like Ronaldo. I'm not a hater, but I do think his role for this team as the super sub. I liked it. I could
yeah.
see it being a valid strategy. And then I get the criticism for Costa, the keeper, who was weak for the Morocco goal. He really didn't come out. He had a poor jump, and credit to the big Moroccan dude who just jumped up there and nodded it home because
That
hey,
was an impressive header.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
a very impressive header.
not easy to
Ronaldo
finish.
was impressive with that.
These
That's
chances. Yeah, so yeah, I think Morocco, man, they some really impressive stuff. Amrabat, the Fiorentina midfielder, who's kind of their defensive holding midfielder. Man, this guy's his stock is rising as much as any other player in this World Cup. You're seeing him just I watched Fiorentina matches, and he's never stood out like this to me. Like he was, been immense in all of these games. So I think we
Fiorentina
may
is
see him get a move to a bigger club here after this World Cup. Because yeah, it's been very impressive for sure.
for sure. And he played very well for Fiorentina last year. Fiorentina was on a hell of a run last year.
Yeah.
But due to financial circumstances, they had to take a giant bag from Juve to move Dusty. Like they had to move
Well,
Vlahovic.
yeah, he didn't want to stay anyway. He was always
Of
angling
course.
for a move.
Well, I
Which
mean, to
yeah, I
keep
mean you
him
got to
in
you got to cash in.
well, to keep him, then if you turn down the offer from Juve and you keep him on his contract, one, he's not going to be super happy about it, but two, you
They
then
turned
have to
down they turned down bigger money from England for him. I know Arsenal offered more money than Juventus did, but it was he wanted that move to Turin for whatever reason. I guess felt like it would be the best move for him, and Italy has a lot nicer weather, so I can't blame him there if he's not wanting to move to the Premier League. But yeah, I mean Fiorentina they they're not they don't have the same drilling and Morocco, man, they're a legit chance here. I think there's not going to be a fear factor playing this France team. And
no.
when we get to talk about this preview, I know we're going to talk about the Mbappe Hakimi kind of matchup here because yeah, they train against each other every single day at PSG, so there's not going to be any surprises here. But before we jump to that, let's recap France and England, which I thought was a great match. It was really good. Both teams played well. I thought England got it right tactically. Uh, it took Tukumeni. I mean, it was a worldie. That happens in soccer. Like a guy hits a wonder strike. Sometimes you just tip your cap, and it probably came from one of the guys they're least expecting it to. And then England, fought their way back. I didn't have any problem with either penalty that England was awarded. I thought they were both clear pens. Harry Kane, does what he does from the spot on the first one. Obviously, chokes the second one, which is, people are talking about that kind of in the narrative. But uh, yeah, I thought over 90 minutes, both teams had spells where they were the better team and they were on top of things. England, I thought, especially in that second half, they really missed a few opportunities to grab the game by the throat. Maguire heading it, free header. I thought for sure he'd put that away. Hits the post, which was pretty unlucky. Obviously, the Kane missed penalty loomed huge. There was a few other things. I didn't like them taking Saka off. I thought Saka was causing so many problems for Teo Hernandez on along that French left hand side. I mean, he earned the penalty for the first one. We could talk more about that, but yeah, England did a good job. They forced the others to beat him. Mbappe was held pretty quiet. They pinned his boots to the chalk, and just made all of the other guys have a little bit more space. Giroud, you got to give him credit, does what he does, comes up in a big game, gets his head to it, gets a little fortunate. I think it deflected off Maguire's shoulder, like he headed it into him. But hey, it went in the net, which is all that matters. And France are through. But what were your thoughts about England and France, and any takeaways from that?
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed with England. I liked the
Mm-hmm.
tactics here. I will stop um, beating up Southgate, I guess. I actually thought he managed really well
Yeah,
this game. It's so hard to try and say, hey, we should take Harry Kane off a penalty kick because he's already had one. Um, there are perfectly other capable strikers on that England team, though. So again, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with how Southgate managed it all. I thought England played a very good brand of football. It was
yeah,
completely the opposite of their tactics for their Euros. Um, if you read my Flash Picks article, this kind of went exactly how I thought it was. If this went into extras and PKs, I definitely think England would have advanced here. They have a deeper bench. They have a
Yeah.
lot more rotational guys that matched up better with
And Pickford's
France.
better than Lloris, I think, especially from the spot. Like, now if we're talking prime Lloris, we can have a discussion. But this Lloris is a little bit over the hill, uh, in my opinion, anyway. Like, I think he makes a lot more mistakes than he ever used to. And Pickford, man, like had a couple like the Giroud volley that he had, where Pickford died. I mean, that was a fantastic save. He for whatever reason, and from the spot, he always comes up pretty big. Now that being said, Kane missed, but yeah, I think England can hold their heads high. I thought they did pretty well. But yeah, were you really impressed with France? Do you think that they're going to be able to break down this Moroccan defense? I mean, maybe we just transition right into that and talk about the
Yeah,
odds. Like, so to make it to the final, France is minus 460 and
yep.
Morocco is plus 330. If you want to do inside 90 minutes betting, France is minus 195. The tie is plus 280, and Morocco to win in 90 is plus 650. Anything maybe unders or anything like that you're looking at for this match?
No, I was just gonna say I was obviously really impressed with what Tuchemeni did for France. Obviously, getting the goal was huge. Making the penalty tackle was not great, but he played a hell of a match. To argue that I mean, the penalty ended up not going in, so it didn't matter. But you'd like to see him not make that kind of a tackle in the box. But outside of that, he played an absolutely phenomenal game. I thought Kunde played really well. I didn't love what I was getting out of Dembele, but I don't always. I thought Rabiot played extremely well. I give mad credit for Mbappe, or for England locking down Mbappe, not even letting him
Yeah,
get a shot off on target. But this French team proves that they have playmakers outside of him, and you can't just key in on him. You're gonna
yeah,
have to, and you're gonna have to dedicate more resources to stopping Mbappe. But they've proved that they can get production outside of him. Um, I was, I would say I was a little pissed at the ref, because I was pushing a Henderson card, especially with him on there to kind of just help
he got
support.
one right.
No, that's the thing that pisses me the fuck off is the ref went in his pocket and kind of showed him the yellow card, but didn't raise it and didn't book it, and then
Interesting.
put it back in his pocket.
Okay, so I was full disclosure, like I was watching the game, but I was also at my son's basketball game simultaneously. So I had my phone and I was watching the match on there, and I remember it would it would have been a soft yellow. Mbappe was what I
That
think
was
he
like
kind
a
of got his
screaming
own feet.
call of the game
Yeah,
too, though.
yeah, he kind of got his own feet tangled up a little bit, but Henderson was there pressing him. I thought I saw the referee go to his pocket and book him.
Oh, he
So
did.
yeah,
He even held it nice and down by his waist, but never
you
put
give
it
him a
on
little like,
there.
hey, a little.
The booking. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, the tactics were good, man. I think that out you had a worldie from outside the box and then a deflected goal. That's tough. That's tough, but that's the margins. You can't. Kane can't. Your captain has to make that penalty. It's wild that he missed. And part of me, I had an England ticket, but I have no love for Harry Kane. So, and I had his golden boot too. So, I mean, all of these things all died, but he's also a Tottenham player. So it was kind of fun to watch him fail. And instead of, it was Saka who got missed last time around and people killed Saka. And
Yeah,
it was good to see Kane
a
miss.
lot less people being vocal about Kane's miss than they were about Saka on his first ever career penalty.
Yeah, and you got to
But
give the kid some credit for stepping up, and taking one of those back in the last tournament. But yeah, I mean, England just kind of it was close, man. And Southgate's right there. I don't know how English fans are feeling. I feel like it's a split. Some people want him to go. Some people want him to stay. I think you played the world champions as close as you could, and you get like I said, a worldie and then a deflection goal, and you also have your missed penalty. They're there. England are right there near the top. Like they can break through. I don't know if a different voice is what they need. I'm not sure. And like you said, tactically, Southgate, getting Mbappe marked out of the match, who most people have him uh, elevated already to the Ronaldo and Messi's like status and tier. I'm not ready to hit that button just yet, but yeah, I think England can hold their heads high, and you got to give Deschamps and France credit here, man. They grinded it out and got through. This was a tough match, that by far their toughest match they had played so far. So that's what winners do, man. They're getting through, and they're dealing with as much injury as anybody. So showing some real depth here. I think unders is the play here. I think it's a 1-1 or a 1-0 France win here. I think Morocco can do the same thing. They'll have watched that match and saw what Kyle Walker did and the help with Henderson and everybody to really deny service and keep Mbappe kind of pinned high and wide, where he can't hurt you very much. Hakimi, like I said, the familiarity and training, he knows him very well. He'll know all of his little, idiosyncrasies and body language. And Morocco are going to sit back. They're just going to be like, all right, France, let's see what you can do. And maybe it's another Giroud header. Maybe it's something like that can break them down. Like maybe Tukameni and another worldie outside the box. Who knows? Or your boy Rabiot, on a late run into the box. He's always a threat in the air too. So um, under 2.5 goals is minus 150. So obviously the books think this thing's going to be pretty low scoring. Semifinals are notoriously low scoring too. Usually it's a 1-0, 1-1 type of a thing, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this be a France 1-0 win. I think they just have just enough quality to get past Morocco, get that one goal, and yeah, I mean Morocco, they're not going to create a lot of chances here. So, what do you think? You think France gets through, or you going to take another upset here?
I don't know, man. This one's gonna be tough. You got two teams that are extremely comfortable playing without the ball. Somebody
Yeah,
has to have the ball here. You would think it's going to be France.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If they hang another plus 200 on Mbappe, I mean, I'm gonna take it. Like, I don't care that he didn't score last game and England did a super good job defending him. Like,
hmm
200 is just too nice of a price for a guy with his talent, and I'll hit it again.
yeah.
That said, Giroud is obviously playing very well. I don't disagree with you.
He's plus 130. So you're not getting your $2 that you want, but maybe you can get it live. 20 minutes, 30 minutes into the match, you might be able to grab that price live if you still want to back him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna wait and see what kind of boosts and promos are offered as well, because I'm sure that'll be a thing.
Yeah,
He's one of the world's most popular players. They're gonna try and get some handle on him, and I think it's a good move by the sports books because he is facing off against his teammate who does train against him and knows him very well. So if you can entice bettors with a nice number like that to bet Mbappe on a game where you think they might be able to keep him out of the back of the net, that's a smart move by sports books.
yeah,
Um, Again, 130 is still a decent price on him. But it's not the plus 200 that I fell in love with last game. 2-1 on your money on Mbappe is just absurd. Plus 130 is still nice. But obviously shop around, see what else is out there. I'm gonna personally wait for the promos and lineups and stuff like that.
get some things. Yeah,
Um, I
yeah.
think I think again, I'm going to say the same thing I wrote in my article for France versus England. France got to win this in regulation if they want to win this. You do not want to go to penalties with Morocco. They've shown you how efficient they are and how good they are at them. And France, your depth worries me with your injuries. I don't know if you have what it takes to play 120 with penalty kicks and come out on top on that. So yeah, I don't think the under 2.5's a bad look at all. I would probably I'm not gonna pay minus 150 on a straight bet. I would probably, look for cards or corners or something of that nature in there to parlay with the under 2.5. Yeah, I mean, I like France in regulation. If they can't get a goal and this ends up 0-0 going into extras and pens, I would back Morocco. It'll be an interesting game. I don't you know, I haven't dug super deep into the bet sheet yet. I mean, the game's still almost 24 hours away, so I haven't finished writing my articles. I will keep going back to the Rabiot shots on target. Well, the fact that that was plus 310 last game was fucking obnoxious. So that was a really nice hit. Yeah, so I'll just kind of be looking at stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. I think there's a few player props like a Griezmann assist. He takes a lot of those set pieces. He takes those corners, and then targeting Giroud uh, with his aerial ability that cashed uh, kind of wildly too because the corner was played in, cleared, passed two times, and then back over to Griezmann who sends it in again. But yeah, kind of a wild way for it to cash. But that's something that I may let. I really do think it's a very low scoring match. I think I may be tempted to play France to win 1-0, or also play the 0-0. Looking at that goal, kind of it's plus 430 if you want to play and shop that around. Obviously, you may find a better price, but um, plus 430 makes sense to take a stab of France there. 0-0 is plus 750. I could potentially see that. And even 1-1 is plus 700. All of those score combinations kind of make sense to me. If you want to get real crazy, you could just take you could play the 1-0 or the 1-0 Morocco 15-1 if I could interest you in that. That's a kind of a tasty little prop there. If you think Morocco is going to get through, um, a 1-0, I could potentially see it. They did it to Portugal. They grab a goal and just hold on to it.
I would
Shields.
rather just take them to advance.
Yeah. No, I hear you,
I
but
think I think that Morocco's best chance is in extra time and PKs.
okay.
Um,
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think
I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but the price difference on a 15-1 and a 5-1 back in the underdog, knowing that they have a much bigger advantage the later the game goes, I would
do
probably
they though? I'm not so sure. Because like I see what you're saying. They did win a penalty shootout, but like I think France would be favored if it goes to the live lines and stuff, just because they have more. I think they do have more depth, and I think
just
they
to
do
give you an
have.
idea, Brazil was only a minus 135 favorite to win on pens.
Okay, I mean that's pretty high on a penalty shootout, though, right? I mean,
You were only
we're
getting
looking at
plus
something,
105 on Croatia. So
right?
the book's taking a massive vig on that, and it's
Sure.
hard to find value there, especially live. With time decay as the game goes on, every 30 seconds those lines get closer and closer to even money
Yeah, I
in
think
extra time.
that's why I think I would like Morocco in 90 minutes because I feel like more football equals more chances for France to score. Uh, but I don't know. I mean, interesting one for sure. We could keep talking about that, but let's flip it over to the other match. Let's go the Argentina-Croatia one. So Argentina minus 270 to advance to the final. Croatia plus 205 to advance to the final. If you want to dabble in money line 90-minute bets, Argentina to win in regulation would be minus 120. The draw is plus 220. Croatia is plus 410. Anything of interest to you in that?
Yeah, I'm going to take Croatia to advance. I don't think that should be a
Ooh.
surprise. I've been on fuck Argentina and fuck Messi all World Cup. I don't think that they can do it. I told you that I don't think Messi has what it takes to backpack this team through 7 games to win a trophy. As we've seen, that's what it's going to take. Like, that's what it's going to take. Argentina, outside of Messi, not a very good team. Would have been washed out by now. Messi, can he do it? It'll be a great story. I don't know. I'm riding with Modric and Croatia because they are clearly on a fuck you, this is our cup world tour. So I'm not getting on the wrong end of Modric when he sets his mind to something.
Yeah, it part of me. I mean, I found myself in the last match. I was rooting for Croatia, and I was happy that they went through. But this match, I've found myself rooting for Messi and Argentina. Like I'll be honest, like of all the things and all the stories left, like for me, this is what I want to see. I want to see Messi go out and win this World Cup, and do so in a fashion, like you said, backpack this team. He's got a hand in almost all their goals and assists this tournament, and I think this is another low scoring game. Like again, unders. Looking at him right now, it's minus 182 under 2.5 in this one. So much even more juice on that than the previous game. So this is
I
something
don't
that
see Croatia giving away a pen here. Just so
you don't see
everybody
Croatia
knows,
doing it.
I do not see
Yeah.
Croatia giving away a pen here.
Well, yeah, they're pretty disciplined back there. That's for sure. Last time against Brazil, I liked Lovren for a card. He didn't get one. I thought he could be attacked, man. I mean, I watched this guy play in the Premier League for years, and um, he's slow on his first step here. So like that's where like he can be got. But I mean with this Croatian team, they just seem to be really well drilled. And yeah, maybe it's not a pen, maybe it's a free kick outside the box. The midfield trio that Croatia, rightfully so, has been a lot of receiving a lot of plaudits because they've been good, but they will give away fouls on the edge of the box. Brozovic got booked and he gave away a few extra fouls. I thought, was lucky to stay on the pitch. The amount of fouls that he accumulated, he definitely could have seen a second yellow card. And I think that's where potentially Argentina gets their goal here is maybe on a free kick. Um, Messi he's been close, but yeah, it's a close, very very tight game. I could see 1-1 going all the way to penalty shootouts here again. Like I could see something like that happening for sure. I think a parlay of both semifinals under 2.5 is a good play. That's
Yeah,
plus money.
it's
Yeah,
only 90 minutes.
yeah, exactly. And yep. Only downside to it is it takes 2 days for that bet to settle. So, those of the action junkies that want to get that cash immediately, you gotta have to wait a whole nother day. But if the first one cashes, then you can have some live kind of hedge opportunities depending on how much you want to
France,
put down
real
on it
quick,
in the
real
pre-flop.
quick, France
Go
has
ahead.
to be favored to win this tournament now, right?
Say that again. I missed what you said exactly. Sorry.
France has to be the favorites to win this
Oh
tournament
yeah,
right
yeah,
about
yeah.
now.
So if we're talking odds to actually win the World Cup at this point, we are at France at plus 115, Argentina at plus 160, Croatia plus 750, and Morocco 11-1. So there's ways to play it. I've seen people playing Argentina, France, and France, Argentina, because it's like plus 220 and plus 240, and as long as you get to the final, then you've made money. If you want to play both favorites to get through to the final, that's one strategy. I know if you want to back Oaks and you think Croatia might be able to get through, um, that's tasty too. You could play France and Croatia in 1-2 combos where Croatia would be 11-1 and France to beat Croatia would be 4-1. Those will be far better than any prices you'll get uh, in the final. So if you're willing to try to play exactas and stuff, if you have conviction on who's going to get through, it's worth it to play kind of both sides of some coins here. Because you can get some good value. You sure can. Like to me, the Croatia, um, I would rather play and have that Croatia to get second as a backup against one of these other ones than play them just to win the whole tournament. That's me. Um, I don't know. What do you feel like of these final four teams? Do you have a pick? Do you think France are going to do it, or what do you think? You think Croatia's going to get it done?
I think we're in for a rematch of the last World Cup. I think it's going to be Croatia, France again. I would be really impressed to see Morocco go through. I think that would be awesome
Yeah.
for them. I think it would be an awesome watch. I think it'd be super cool for us as soccer fans.
Mhm.
I think that a Croatia Morocco final would turn off a lot of soccer casuals, but I don't really care about that. I think it would give us a great final. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do want to say, like, I was impressed by Lautaro Martinez stepping up and drilling his penalty kick. I think that might give him a little bit of confidence. I don't think it gets him a start job
No.
again, but I think that that penalty kick gives him some confidence and might make him dangerous late as a substitution.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I I I don't know how to sugarcoat it. I'm biased. I fucking hate Messi. I fucking hate Argentina. So I
Why do you?
don't
I've never asked you. Why do you hate Messi?
uh
Because he played for Barcelona, or is it just like is
yeah,
there
because
something
he
else?
fucking terrorized La Liga
Okay.
forever. Like, what do you want from me? Like,
Well,
I'm a
I'm like he
fan.
for
I don't
me
know.
like yeah, as an Arsenal fan, I mean, we lost to Barcelona a lot, but like he's so good that he transcends my like ability to dislike a player. It's kind of wild. It's like
His
he,
football
he
talent is
yeah,
great.
right.
His fans, the media, and the referees and the treatment he gets is what I can't fucking stand.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
he does
fact
get
that he wasn't booked on that handball and then later wasn't shown in like Messi could have been sent off that game. He had like fucking 11, 12 fouls.
yeah, they're red
Like Messi,
Messi's
but
gonna have to
they'll never
yeah.
show Messi a red. They will never show Messi a red. Not in a fucking World Cup.
He would have to take he would have to be on a yellow and then take his shirt off where there's no room for any sort of discretion. Like he'd get the Abubakar red card where
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
and
I
maybe
mean,
he does
they'll
yeah.
overlook him directly cleating somebody in the chest. Like that's how much they'll overlook for Messi.
He does get the it I mean that's part of I guess it's just part of the game, like certain players they get away with a lot more than others, and that I guess that's part of the banter and the human aspect of it. But I'm thinking here potentially of adding something, but I haven't just yet. I want to double check the suspensions. Is there anybody suspended in this round? I think.
Yeah, Argentina got a couple with all those cards.
Yeah, I want to double check. Make sure we're not missing any major players. Okay, here we go. I got the article pulled up.
Acuna's suspended on yellows
Yep,
and
Montiel,
Montiel. Yeah,
and then Kadira for Morocco, the forward who got his red card for his second yellow.
yeah.
That dude was on the pitch for like a hot minute and got a red card, which is hilarious. But um, Yeah, 2 bookings inside of, like, 1 minute. That was wild. So yeah, no, I know Acuna has, played a lot of minutes at left back for Argentina, but, they've got a bit of a I know, Taglia, Faga I can't remember pronounce his name exactly, but he was at, like, Ajax for a long time. I know they have a ready-made left back to slide in there, but yeah, nothing too major.
Croatia is going to give Argentina problems with their size again as well. If we learned anything
Mhm.
from that Netherlands match,
They're not a
Croatia
big
have
team.
a
Yeah.
lot of taller guys that can go up and compete for aerials in the box.
Yeah, that'll be what Croatia needs to do is make the most of those set pieces. Modric is a magician. He can put the ball where he needs to put it. So it's going to be on these guys, these Croatian defenders and center forwards to try to win those aerial duels because I think that's the way Croatia will score is from a set piece. Um, I don't see them having a ton of. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Our
I
Argentina
think they're going to have a pretty good amount of possession. I
the,
think that
the midfield could
their
be one.
midfield stands toe to toe with Argentina's midfield, no problem.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think this is going to be a very competitive game. I don't think we're going to see a ton of shots on target here. I don't see a ton of shots getting blasted off. I think this is going to be a cagey physical battle in the middle
yeah.
third, and you're going to struggle to see a lot of sustained pressure in either opponent's box.
You think we get to see Dybala yet? Like, do they break out Dybala?
Is he
Like,
healthy? Like, here's my thing. Dybala didn't play a single minute for over a month leading
yeah,
up
in
to
the
this
lead up,
World Cup.
and then
So the
on the
fact that
Croatian, yeah.
Dybala hasn't been on the field has not been a surprise to me, like even a little bit.
Yeah.
Did he sub on last game?
Uh, Great question. Let me double
I
check.
think he did. Let me pull back up
Yep,
on Flash Score. I think he did sub on for a little bit last game.
it was. Um, I no, he did not.
Okay. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't think Dybala's fit. Like
Yeah.
if you can you're not the only one. Plenty of people have asked me. I don't think Dybala's fit. I just think that they brought him to the World Cup because if he is fit, he's a dangerous player.
Yeah, it's
Um,
another guy that, you got to focus on and maybe frees up Messi a little bit. Uh, yeah, it's tough, man. This game is close. I wouldn't. I'm not sitting there saying you're crazy at all for taking Croatia. I would not surprise me if they go through. It really wouldn't. I am surprised at the value of being able to get them at over $2 to go through. I thought it would be a lot closer. Um,
Public money.
but yeah,
Public's all
maybe
over Argentina.
that
The
might just be the liability of the book. Yeah, I've taken a
Yeah,
lot of Argentina money. Um,
the public
Tough.
loves Argentina. They want the same thing you do. They want to see this messy thing play out.
Yep.
So yeah, in my opinion, that's where Argentina is overvalued here, in my opinion. And I think that the best value is to dig out Croatian stuff. So if you're going to look for, I would look at Croatia's players to take shots, guys that are, maybe midfielders or even backline guys that have been consistently putting up a shot. I took the stab on John Stones. I thought John Stones' line was way too high for England last game versus France. He was taking one shot per game. He ended up not taking the long one from outside the box. I believe that was Henderson who jacked up that nice long shot. But Stones had been peppering one in every game, and they were still giving me like plus 130, plus 140 on Stones just to shoot the ball, not even to hit the target. Like you
Yeah,
could
just to
sky
have.
it 30 fucking feet over the crossbar, and that's
Yeah,
still
even if he like barely gets his head onto a corner and it goes out for a goal kick, that
yep.
cashes. Which Yeah, that's a good bet. I mean, like you said, you got to dig a little deep. Some of these things, like, yeah, it's tough. I played McGuire. I found a 25 to 1 on his headed goal at Barstool, and yeah, I mean that was a tough one. I wanted that with him hitting the post. Not only would have helped my England bet, but it would have helped that cash that 25 to 1, which would have been tight. There is value out here. You got to dig. And that's the thing is like in these games where I think they're both going to be under 2.5 goals. Why not take a stab on a defender to score from a set piece? Like I think that those are viable options, and that's what I've been kind of doing. Is just having some fun. And maybe if your bankroll's not huge and you can't really survive a high variance play, like maybe fade that and play a safer look, like a shot on target from a forward. But I I don't know. I'm having fun digging a little bit deeper into these props too, and I like those looks. Like, give me a defender to have a shot.
Yeah.
And sometimes those first half, like, all right,
Yep.
if you want to play Messi to get a shot on target, for example, I think it's like -$5. Like, it's unplayable. But if you
Yep.
play him to get a shot in the first half, I think it's like -130, which is a playable play. That's a playable bet. Sure, you'd like it a little higher, but um, something in the first 45 minutes, I mean, that makes sense. And plus, you know if you won earlier or not. And so those people that hate sweating a bet for 90 minutes, like we famously talk about, like,
Oh, for sure.
and now it's 120 minutes. Like you're sweating a bet
Yeah.
sometimes if you're taking the team to advance. But yeah, these props there is value here, and I mean, shots
I
from outside the box, shots for with a head, stuff like this, left-footed shots. Messi for me, like I cashed his bet to score with his left foot, which was an extra 50 cents off his anytime goal price. But like, is Messi gonna win a header against Virgil van Dijk? No.
Nope.
So like,
Absolutely not.
why am I gonna play his header? He almost scored with his right foot when Aki kind of posted him up at the edge of the box, and he kind of shot between his legs, but luckily didn't have enough pace on that bad boy. That would have been a tough one, but yeah, sometimes it's okay to take a little extra risk here to get some better prices. Is I guess.
Yeah, I've been kind of pounding my fist on the table and screaming at everybody. I've had way more success with lower units and diversifying my portfolio across more straight bets on stuff like that. One shot, defenders for one shot, midfielders for a shot on target. I mean, you're getting the absolute best in the world players at prices you're not going to see again because
Yeah.
they typically dominate their home leagues because they are this good. Like the level of talent we're seeing here, um, you're not gonna duplicate in club play.
Yeah.
There's a lot on the line here. There's a lot of pride. There's a lot of stuff going on with this, and that has produced a very, you know, player friendly betting market as it should. So yeah, I mean, I've found that most of my success has come from lowering my units, diversifying my betting portfolio on a game. So
Yeah.
instead of like, last week when I said I loved Mbappe at plus 200, I also loved Rabiot's shot on target at plus 310.
Yeah.
He did that in 3 previous games. And you knew that with how much they were focused on Mbappe, that was going to open up opportunities for others. So, there's always stuff that goes into this too. It's not just like, hey, I saw Rabiot, he's cashed for me before.
Yeah.
Let's take him again. Um,
There are some
so
tasty these Croatian guys. We're talking about it in the chat here a little bit, and then also I've got the menu up here. Uh, Perisic plus 160, Modric plus 195. You could take, let's see, the forwards, Petkovic and Kramaric. Those guys, I mean, one or the other will start probably. Pekovic might get the start. It has been Kramaric starting, but they're both plus money for a shot on target. Um, and then yeah, your Argentinians outside of like Alvarez and Messi, you can get those guys at some decent little prices here, like Alex McAllister, plus 155 on him, and Rodrigo De Paul, plus 200. Like I think these midfielders, like you mentioned, there's some value there. I mean, I think they're less likely to make a sub here too on some of these guys, and with the 90 minutes, like yeah, is Modric coming off? you know,
No, Modric is never
he's
coming off the
right.
bench.
Messi's never coming off. Like certain these guys, like you know that all right, like who are they gonna? Where are the subs gonna be made? And yeah, in a semifinal, you ride your guys till the wheels fall off, probably. Um, I don't know. I think it's fun. Bookings, what do you think? Bookings, because obviously you're going to give up a foul here if you have to save a goal. Um, Anybody catch your eye in Argentina, Croatia? Because both guys, both teams aren't afraid to take a foul. That's for sure.
We got an Italian ref too.
I know Brozovic, who cashed for JD, was plus 200 right now. Kovacic plus 240. Um, Looking through here, just
I'm
some.
looking up this ref stats. He's a ref in Italy whose name I don't know, so he's not super card happy.
Hold on, let me take a peek. I gotta see.
All right. So this ref in Syria, Champions League, World Cup. He also did UEFA A and B. He only had 2 games on there though, and they were high carded matches. In the World Cup, he's refed 2 games. He's given out 11 cards. That's a very high total. Um, he's averaging 5.5 yellows a game, obviously, but he is pulling out the book at a pretty low threshold, 32 fouls a game, handing out 11 cards. That's like 1.5 fouls before you get booked. So pretty low threshold there. In Champions League, he did a lot better.
Yeah, it's Orsato. Yeah, this dude, he's he's kind of a no nonsense official here. I've seen him. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
I mean, he's not going to take a lot of dissent. He's not going to tolerate players crowding around him. But you know, he's a good ref. He'll keep a good handle on the game. You know, I think there'll be bookings, but for me,
for sure.
I like playing book markets. My thing is like I have to have the lineup in front of me. Like I have to
Right.
see where these guys are standing on the pitch, who's going to be marking who on set pieces, make my best guesses on that. Um, you know, that's what bookings come down to a lot for me. Yeah, I mean, whoever's guarding Messi, or whoever is
Oh
going
yeah,
to have to
that's probably
us
a combination of all the
yeah. Well,
midfielders are going to
whoever's
take
gonna
their turn
be
fouling.
forced to move into the spaces where Messi is most dangerous is gonna be who you look for a booking.
Yeah, I think Brozovic is the main guy to target in this one, uh, and Modric as well, and Kovacic. I think all three of the midfielders will have a turn, going up against him, and he's just so quick with the acceleration. Like, you know,
I would not take Modric for a booking.
you know,
Let me pull up some data here.
I know he already got one booking this World Cup. Let's see. It's just, yeah, like you said, we want to see lineups, but I think at this point in semifinals, we kind of know how these teams are gonna line up for the most part. We can make a pretty educated guess. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he got booked against Canada
It did,
in the
but
group stage.
over the last 3 years, Modric played 35 games, 28 games, and 13 this season for Madrid. Modric hasn't been suspended on yellow accumulations in La Liga since the 2019-2020 season. where he piled up 7 whole yellow cards.
Hmm.
He had 4 in the 2021 season. He had 4 in the 21-22 season. And, he's got 3 this year. He obviously kind of got fucked over in that bad game where they
Well,
gave.
yeah, those Real Madrid matches though they're not the same as Croatia. The Madrid have way more of the ball, and he's asked to play a little bit more advanced in those Madrid matches versus when you got Casemiro back there taking all the fouls for you. I think a little bit of apples to oranges, but I see what you mean. He's not like your typical guy.
Modric has finesse too. I mean,
Yeah.
like he'll make tackles that
Mm.
other guys will commit falls on, and like,
Yeah.
I've seen Modric make absolutely absurd tackles that most players are getting called falls on, and he gets nothing but ball. Like
Yeah.
when Modric goes down to slide and make a tackle, I trust that he's getting ball first. Like, he's not a guy that I think picks up a ton of bookings.
Yeah, I like Brozovic. I like DePaul kind of in the middle of that midfield there. I think those are two guys that could be good targets. Um, and yeah, guess we'll wait and see. Player prop wise, I guess we could talk one more time about the France and Morocco match. I know you said potentially you're going to be on a Mbappe goal if there's a good boost. You don't necessarily like plus 130, but anything in terms of cards or shots or anything like that catches your eye at all? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you should be looking at Hakimi props for sure. He's definitely been a huge star in this tournament
there's
and
plus
for
220
Morocco.
for a shot on target. Um, if you want to take that. Uh,
Yeah, he's also not a bad look. Let me see. I'll check the referee real quick, but I wouldn't hate him for a booking either. Um, you know, I think he's gonna pester Mbappe. He's gonna try and stay in his pocket, and I
that's
think
what I'm interested too. Is their strategy like because Morocco don't get the ball enough to like truly like they're much more of like a counter attack press forward. It's like if you're great like when good teams in the Champions League will play PSG, you want to try to make Mbappe and Neymar and Messi defend. You know, your fullbacks,
right.
pushing forward. Obviously, you get a lot of 2v1s because those guys don't like to track back, and the fullbacks get, um, like I said, get a lot of those 2-on-1 situations. But yeah, with Morocco, I'm just fascinated to see how they. For me, it's one I want to wait 15 minutes into the match and see what's happening. Like, is he staying with him? Is he following him everywhere he goes? Is he, pinning him out to the chalk line, or is he, letting him get some space and come inside? Because it is weird. Like I'm not sure how Morocco will play it, but I'm assuming they'll just continue to keep a firm 10 men behind the ball, 2 blocks of 5, and say, "Come get us, boys, if you can."
Yeah,
And
I don't
I
see
like some
why they'd
shots.
change up. It's worked for them so far.
I like shot. That's why I think in this for France, I want to target some stuff from outside the box. I feel like player shots on target from outside the box. FanDuel has this market. And looking at it, Mbappe plus 185 for a shot. Griezmann 2-1. I don't know. Griezmann just hates shooting these days, so I don't want to. He's much more of an assist play for me versus shooting. But Dembele plus 220. If we're looking a little deeper, uh, Tutremene, he's plus 390. That's a decent one. Rabiot plus 410. So maybe the starting midfield there. Both guys are around 4-1 on a shot. Pavard, 5-1. I mean that dude bombs forward consistently. I don't know. I think like I said, France is gonna have to unlock this low block that Morocco plays, and I'm not confident of a lot of goals, but I do think that France, hey, we're going to try to have to shoot and huff and puff and blow this house down. So I kind of like targeting some of these. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not on FanDuel and that's what everybody likes to use, but PointsBet has just shots outside of the box.
Hmm.
So not even on target. Like Rabiot to take just put one up outside the box is plus 120.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of markets um that that will pique my interest. But again, it's one of those things like I can like line this up for you and I can it's kind of a waste of my time and your time if I give you a list of 35 props that I like a day before the game starts. Because what I end up doing is I cut 25 of those off my card. Like, once I see lineups and once I see where people are going and what people are playing, like, that's the most difficult thing about handicapping. And that's why, like, I don't, it's not mandatory. You guys don't have to come watch this content with me and Matkafee. Like, I put out my plays to the best of my ability, but that's why I push you guys to watch these videos and read the articles because like yeah, Messi last game Messi assist for me wasn't like an official play. Um it's something I took and it's something I wrote about heavily in my article and it happened. But when I write stuff and I try and predict a game, like people are really want like my best one or two or maybe even three picks, but
Yeah.
you got to trim the card down somewhere. And that's why we try and do this extra content so you guys can get inside of our heads and kind of see what it is we think is going to happen with the match.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. If we're doing a posted official, it's a lot of time. It's either it's a line that we just love the value of, or it's our best bet. And
right.
like you said, like these conversations and articles that are a little more long format are good exploratory combos to have. And we're just, yeah, I mean, shooting the shit about different things. Like I may have 10 plays for a match, but I only post two or three just because, yeah, I'm trying to give you the ones I'm most confident in. Because that's, if I posted 10, people would say, hey, what is your favorite pick? You know what I mean? Like that's, you
Right.
get,
And then you run into problems with like
sure,
people who don't either have the bankroll or the stomach to put that many units in play or like,
right.
my thing is like I try and cater my bets. I put however much I want on there, but I show stuff for guys that are in the 15 to $25 per bet range. And that's why like okay, if I tell you to put a tenth of a unit on something, like, are people really going to put $1 on it? No, they're probably going to put a full $10
Absolutely
unit
not.
on it. And it's
Right.
like, well, yeah, that bet missed, but like the guy to hit the woodwork at 20 to 1, it was just a gut feeling on something that I'm personally comfortable putting 5 to $10 on. But like, if that's not how you bet, that's not something I'm
Right.
going to advertise a bunch. Like,
Yeah, you got to find the style that works for you, and yeah, that's part of the journey too. Is like finding out your tolerance for stuff and what kind of bets you like to sweat and what type of stuff. Like there could be, it's probably a lot of fun to bet. That probably pretty profitable bet the WNBA, but I'm not going to watch the game, so I'm not going to bet on it. Like it's
right.
all of those different types of things that it's tough. So yeah, what about I think in the final conclusion kind of combo we should have is because we're getting a good spot here towards the end. Player futures. So let's first talk about Golden Boot. Mbappe is at 5. He's the leader. Messi and Giroud are both at 4, right behind him. So the odds currently, Mbappe is like minus 200, minus 210. Messi is plus 300, and Giroud is plus 650. They're realistically the only guys that have chance to win this thing. Um, there could be, I guess, something crazy happens. Somebody gets a hat trick in this next semifinal game to kind of lift them up. But realistically, it's a 3-horse race now. And we do have dead heat rules. So that would result in a reduction of your stakes. So, is there a bet that you like? Do you think Mbappe is value at minus 210 with a
No,
goal in pocket?
absolutely not. There's
No.
no value in taking Mbappe, in my
So do
opinion.
you like him to score in the next match? Do you think, or do you think, like, yeah,
No,
there
you're
is
better off just playing his goal individually for
right.
the rest of the tournament. See, my thing is, if you're gonna take anyone, it should probably be Giroud.
Plus 650.
Messi, yeah, I mean, if you want Messi, then go ahead and take Messi. Personally, like I said, I think he's going out this round. Even if he doesn't, we both see a low scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Croatia doesn't give away a PK and somebody else is going to have to get a goal here. Um, I, hey, that's just me though.
Yeah.
If you like Messi, bet Messi. I don't. If you're looking for value, Giroud's great value.
I think
Mbappe is
so.
going to be the number one guy that people want to stop. Obviously, we've talked about his height advantage and how gifted he is at aerials. I don't need to see the entire length of his career, but I've seen him enough at AC Milan the last couple of years to know that, yeah, that dude plants headers in the back of the net. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
kind
I think you're better off if you like Mbappe, just continue to take him game to game as a goal scorer. You should see him at plus money for the remainder of the tournament.
yeah, minus 200. You get he doesn't have to do anything else, and you can win. Like France could get 0-0 and win in penalties, 0-0 and win in penalties.
See,
But
they're gonna, yeah, they count extra time though in Golden Boot, and like, yeah, does he have to do nothing to keep winning? Sure. Do I really think 5 goals is gonna hold up with the guys around him? I don't. I
you
think
like Messi to
you're gonna
score
be
this week,
taking a
is what you're
reduced.
saying. You like
Yeah, I
Messi
think,
to score,
yeah, or Giroud to score, and
right?
now you're staring at
A
a
reduction here.
reduced
Yeah,
payment in a minus 250, so you're looking at like minus 500 on your money.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah. I
that.
think you're.
That's way too much juice. Just take him to score.
Yeah, it's well, Mbappe would be the same. That's like a bet on Giroud not to score.
Yeah.
Almost. That's it's like I know Camby will offer to not to score lines
Sometimes
for some
they
of these
won't
guys.
when I want them to.
I did it on Mbappe. Everybody thought I was a little crazy, but I had a little something up my sleeve
I'm
on that
still
one.
furious that they wouldn't give me the line on Lewandowski not to score in Champions League versus fucking Inter and versus
Yeah.
Byron, because I knew that wasn't gonna happen.
What
And
about yeah? What about player of the tournament though, man? What do you think? Is
they're
this
gonna give it to Messi. They're just
give it?
going to.
It's Messi's no
He
matter
doesn't.
what you think.
It's Messi pretty much no matter what. Giroud
Plus,
has a
plus
solid
115
argument.
on Messi right now to win the golden ball. I think that's a fantastic bet too. I think it's something that I'm going to put down on because yeah, he's backpacked his team like you mentioned. But go ahead, finish your thought. Sorry.
No, I mean they're gonna give it to Messi, even if he wins Golden Boot. I know I stood on a soapbox and screamed about how if a player wins Golden Boot, they're not gonna win Golden Ball. They're going to do it for Messi. They'll give if somehow Messi wins this tournament, gets Golden Boot, they'll give him Golden Ball. Fuck, they might give him keeper of the tournament too. Like that's why I can't stand this guy. It's just because anytime he wins anything, it's just, oh, can I get more Messi? Oh, please,
I'll
Messi.
take some.
Oh,
I'll take some
Messi.
on that plate.
Oh. So, yeah, that's why I fucking hate the guy.
Yeah, he's people appreciate the greatness, that's for sure. And we live in an era right now where everybody's so quick to say this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is the greatest. He's the greatest. We have 15 goats in every sport. We have a
There,
current goat. We have this
there,
goat, that goat. Like it's a term that gets thrown around like far too haphazardly for my taste personally. But I do
Same
think,
with golden generation. I am so sick of
yeah,
hearing
golden
the
generation.
term golden generation in this tournament.
Golden generation is the equivalent of unicorn in NBA circles. Like you hear it in almost every conversation about how this guy's a unicorn or this. Yeah, they're tiresome, you know, talking points that people do throw out. So yeah, I like Messi a lot to win this at plus 115 here. Because if Argentina if they do go out, I see them going out in a very tight game here.
And they've made it far enough where you get a golden
Yep,
ball winner out of a team that doesn't make the final.
yeah, it's pretty darn close here. Um, I
Giroud
think
would
I
be
like the
another
I like.
good look.
Go ahead. Another
Giroud
one.
would be another good look, in
Drew.
my opinion. If you're like me and you think Croatia advances, Modric to run it back isn't a bad play. He's obviously had a huge impact on his team at every level of this match or every level of this tournament.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Yeah,
but
Amrabat is a sneaky dark horse. I think if Morocco knock France
yeah,
out
oh,
and
for sure.
keep a clean sheet, right now he's 29 to 1. Um,
I like that a lot for sure. If you think that they can get past France, or even if they take France deep into
yeah,
PKs, like if this goes out of the first 5 PKs, then yeah, I could easily see a very good argument for him to make golden ball. I just think it's tough to give golden ball to keepers because they do have their own award.
yeah, the Golden Glove, the final market. We'll talk. That was a good transition. So, like, the Croatian keeper is plus 130. The Moroccan keeper is plus 195. Martinez, the Argentinian keeper's 3 to 1, and then Hugo Lloris is plus 750. So that's pretty wild that they have, Lloris as the
The
longest shot
biggest
here.
underdog to win Golden Glove.
Right. I mean, that's I think the Croatian keeper with all of his big saves, I think has a
I don't
good
think that
argument
you
for
can
it.
get. I mean, unless they fucking win the tournament, I don't see it going to the Argentinian keeper after letting two go against Saudi, letting some arguably
Yeah,
cheese ball win.
Martinez probably shouldn't get it. He did have some big saves in the penalty shootout, uh, but yeah, for me, I agree. He hasn't had enough.
He hasn't had the tournament that goes, yo, if you put that guy in the net, then my team's instantly better.
He
Like that.
has. I mean, he's made some great stops. That's for sure. In the course of the games, he's had some pretty big saves. But like, yeah, for me, I think the Croatian keeper at plus 130 is a really solid bet as well. Um, but yeah, Morocco. I mean, I'm trying to think back like to how many big saves the Moroccan keepers had to make. Like that defense prevents chances from even being created. So like I'd have to go back and play through my head of how many big saves he's had. I know he
The
made saves in
PK
the penalty
shootout
shootout,
versus Spain. The PK
but that
shootout
got
versus
you
Spain.
can't even give him good credit for those penalties were so bad. Like I've seen U8s take better penalties than Spain took in that round. That was pretty bad. But yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I got nothing else, man. I think we talked through it pretty good. I guess let's just put a button on things, force each other to make picks here. Uh, so you've got who going through in France and Morocco?
I got France probably going through. I think that
Yeah.
I think the best thing would be to see Croatia take on Morocco from a neutral perspective. I think everybody else would fucking hate that though. So I want to see.
Everybody's wants Argentina, France, that's for sure.
No, I don't. I want to see the rematch. I want to see the rematch of France versus Croatia.
Okay.
I think Croatia really can lock this down. I think they have a legit shot at winning this tournament.
Yeah. Plus 205 for Croatia to advance. Oaks is on them. I think that's a good look. Like if you just want to take a number, you don't have any rooting interest. I think taking Croatia here at plus 205 is a really nice price. and I'm not going to talk anybody away from it. I guess part of me thinks that there's this sentiment to get Argentina to the final, and I'm not one for historical data a lot, like because yeah, the last time I think Argentina got to this stage was 2014, I believe, and they did make it, but Argentina's never lost in the history of the tournament at this stage. They do always make it to the final in a semifinal. They lost to Germany back then in the final. I think this is one where they can get it done. I don't know. So I'm going to back Argentina to get through and France to get through. But I think the way I'm going to do it is in the tourney specials section, or however your book offers it. I like the forecast of playing France first, Argentina second, and vice versa. Argentina first, France second, and you get plus 220 and like plus 240 on that, and shop those around. I do think that's the final, and that way you can kind of sit back and just maybe take some player props. Yeah, sure, you could get burned on that and lose two bets, but I'm happy with setting that up and having a nice unit and at least 1.2 units of profit if that final comes through, which is better than trying to parlay the two right now. Which, yeah, if you were to just take Argentina to advance and France to advance,
Oh
it's
yeah, minus money.
yeah, it's minus 147. What I just told you is the same bet, and it's plus 220 or plus 240, which ultimately will mean you'll win 1.2 units or 1.4 units on your bet. Much better way to play that. And the same thing with Oaks. If you're feeling Croatia, do that the same way. I think you're getting better odds than if you do Croatia France, which is plus 274. Yeah, and if you take the way those things are stacked up, hold on, where it is. It is Croatia 11-1 to beat France, and France to beat Croatia is 430. So I mean, you're getting 3.3 units if France beat Croatia, or you're getting 10.1 units if Croatia beat France. So much better way than to take it the other way of doing a parlay of those two teams. So I don't know how many people are trying to parlay a 2-day event. And I know my way, you have to wait until Sunday to get paid. So like that's even
Well,
worse.
first you have to be right, then you
You
have to
have to
wait.
be right, and then you have to wait. Which I know for us that like a lot of instant gratification, that's tough. But got any final words, man? Other than I guess we'll talk again. We'll do this after we've learned everything. We're looking to do the next episode maybe
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, yeah. So we'll preview.
Friday early afternoon, I believe.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll get a tweet out about that. No, I'm
Friday at
yeah,
11.
Friday at
Perfect.
11. So
Yep.
I'm oh
I've talked myself out, man. I'm out of water. I need to go get a drink. And
yeah. No, I'm just answering chat. No,
okay.
I mean, how confident am I that Argentina loses? 50-50, man. That I mean,
Yeah.
like
You want to do
I
a bet? Let's say if Messi wins the World Cup, Oaks, you have to get Messi tattoo on your ass
fuck no.
like Roy Orbison Coach of
Absolutely
the
not.
World.
No way, man. Because I mean, like, what do I get out of that?
That's
Okay,
what I'm
cool.
wondering. Yeah, like
And
we
if
got to do a
Messi
tattoo
doesn't
bet.
win the World Cup, you gotta get them Real Madrid crest tattooed on your middle finger.
A middle finger or Madrista. See,
Yeah.
I don't have the level of hate. There's not an equitable thing for me. Like I don't know. I don't have a great villain left in this tournament, I guess. So for
Yeah,
me,
like
I
you're not
don't know.
gonna
We'd have to
agree
come
to
up
get a
with something.
Spurs tattoo, are you?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I
Right?
could ever do that.
So
Right.
like asking me to get a Messi tattoo is like asking you to get a Spurs
No,
tattoo.
I know. I'm just having fun with you, man.
Oh
This
no, for sure. I mean, like, yeah, if there was like if Benz was playing for France, I would
yeah,
absolutely make a bet like that
there
because
you
I'd be
go.
like, yeah, Benz is gonna fucking tear. He's going to send Messi packing again.
Mhm.
But I don't have that. I mean, I guess the Madrid versus Messi storyline is right in front of me. It's Modric versus Messi. So yeah, I'm gonna back my guy from Madrid. I'm gonna back Modric. But yeah, I don't see. You know, I would if there was if there was something we could do a side bet on, I would very much enjoy
One
it.
day,
But
yeah, we'll cook something up. Maybe if Arsenal and Madrid ever get to a final or something like that, we'll have to run something.
oh, for sure, yeah, we'll do
Because
something.
yeah, we
We'll
never
do
knew each other when Arsenal were still in the Champions League and we were knocking Real Madrid out. And this man right here, the Thierry, lights the Bernabeu up. But yeah, no. All right, man. Let's end it there. I think that's a good one. We'll reconvene on Friday at 11 a.m. Brad sends his best. I know maybe we can get Sam. He's a busy guy, but we'll try to get a couple more opinions on here for you guys, if possible, to talk about the final. And yeah, hopefully we've won some bets. Look at our channels in Gold Boys Discord. We'll have a lot of our official bets going out. Look at our Twitters. Thank you to Pickett. Of course, they've promoted the show, been a sponsor of our show through the whole World Cup. Great tool for tracking your bets. You can see how many units you're up or down. Hopefully, you're not down for the World
We've
Cup.
done very well in group stages.
Yeah, yeah. I think the knockout rounds were pretty good. There's been a couple nice long shots that have hit, but yeah, great tool to make sure you can track all your action there. But yeah, that's all I've got. You guys have a great night. Enjoy the matches tomorrow and Wednesday, and we'll see you on Friday.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys.